Today on Coalcracker, we're just hanging around. Just hanging around. What's up guys, Dan here, Coalcracker Bushcraft. So I'm not going to be hanging around all that much, but my pot is going to be hanging around on this tripod, which we put together in a recent video. We used a quick lash tripod, and then guess what we have to do now? We need a way to hang our pot so we can cook it over the campfire, and then I'll show you all the gloriness of these tripods. So how do we actually do this? Well, one of the easiest ways is just to get some paracord or get some bank line and then put a toggle system together that's going to hold this thing in place, and that's what we're going to look at today. All right, so the first thing you're going to need to do is get some cordage. You can use bank line, you can use paracord, any of these will work just fine. Before you cut it though, for your length of your tripod, you're going to take your end and you're going to put a loop on it. Now I like to use a bowline knot, but you can use a slip knot for this. Either will work just fine, as long as you have some type of loop that you can place over one of the sticks of your tripod. Then you see my line here is starting to hang downward. Now once you see your line hanging downward, you can go ahead and cut this, but how far down should you cut this? So a good rule of thumb for this is to go 3/4 of the length of your tripod. So in my case, and it's from where it's hanging, not from the top of the tripod, from where this is hanging, think of it in 4 sections to the ground and take 3 of those sections and leave them intact. Okay, so in my case, I'm going to come down to about here. We're going to cut this free, and then we can go out and get our toggle. Now, just to clear the airway, what we're talking about when we talk about this tripod and the toggle system is hanging a pot with a bail. We're not talking about hanging water bottles, so just keep that in mind. It's focused more towards this. All right, so what type of stick are we looking for to make this toggle? So we, number one, want to make sure it's not rotted. A rotted stick is not going to be good. It's going to break, and it's going to let all of that delicious food fall down into campfire. We don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure that you get a good solid stick, not rotted, and then you want to make sure that stick is around index finger size. That generally is going to get it done for the most part. Now if you're going with something really big, like a big Dutch oven or something like that has a lot of weight to it and you're going to be putting a lot of food in it, then we want to make that stick a little bit bigger. So you got to play around with that, but think about index finger sized. If it's good hardwood, you should be good to go. So I have a piece here, okay, nice and straight, and then I have my pot right here. So I need to decide how big to cut this, okay? If I cut this too small, when it goes through, and you're going to see this set up here in a little bit, there's a chance of moving this around that this pot again can fall. So the easiest way to do this is to cut your stick, okay, so the stick is bigger than the widest part of the bail. So from here to here, plus just a little bit, maybe an inch on each side. Now I know you can play with this, but I think that making it a little bit bigger makes it a little bit safer, preserves that food, and we want to do that at all costs, right? Because we all love to eat. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach my hanging toggle to the rope that's on my tripod. So you can do this with a variety of different knots. Today I'm going to just use a slip knot for this. You can use a clove hitch. You can, the world is your imagination. Just make sure that it's nice and steady and strong, and it should look something like this when it's on place, and you notice it's not sliding anywhere. Lots of good pressure. So now it's time to hang our pot. So all that we do with this thing when we're going to hang our pot is we're going to insert this through the bail like this, and then allow it to catch on the bail like that, and look at, just like that, we are now hanging our pot. So let me show you this on the tripod and how nice and adjustable this thing is. Now at this point, what we have is our tripod set up with our pot hanging off of the tripod. Fire, of course, would be underneath the tripod, just like that. Now, if we need to heighten this, okay, what we would want to do at this point is we can either do one of two things. We can either move the sticks in if we just need a little bit of adjustment, or if we need a lot of adjustment, what we're going to do is we're going to take our line and we're going to wrap it around the top of the tripod. One or two times just like that, and you see how much I brought that up. So very simplistic. Now, if I want to adjust this even further, okay, what I can do, I can take some wraps off of the top if I need. Just like that. And then as I'm cooking, if I'm like, hey, I need a little bit more heat, we just open up the legs of our tripod like this, and then we just work that pot down towards the ground. So this gives us a lot of adjustability with a cooking system, and it works really well. And you can see that this thing is really secure on there, so you can stir and you can mix your food, and it just gets the job done perfectly. All right, and there you go. Just like that, you have a way now to hang your pot securely over the campfire with a ton of adjustability for cooking. So I hope you like this one. Definitely give this one a shot. And also, before you get out and do this, hit like and subscribe down below. You can also check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com for all our classes, our gear, and our blog. Until the next video, hang... I was going to say hang in there. Hang in there. I guess because we're talking about hang in there, stay in the woods.